Hey guys, it's Scott from s.h.i.e.l.D. podcast. Welcome to another edition of ReWatching Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. Today I'm going to be talking about Season 1, Episode 15, Yes Men. Alright guys, as I do with every episode, I'm just going to give you guys a quick IMDb, but in this case the Wikipedia plot summary, so you have an idea of what happened in this episode, then give you guys my thoughts and some foreshadowing I noticed in this episode, along with a few Easter eggs, etc., etc. Let's get started. Alright, so the Wikipedia plot summary for this episode says the Asgardian Lorelei enslaves a biker gang and begins to form an army while a team is summoned to investigate an energy reading from the Bifrost, encountering Lady Sif, who is seeking Lorelei. She explains that Lorelei escaped imprisonment during the attack of the Dark Elves, and to neutralize her power of controlling the minds of men, Sif must fit a special collar around her neck that prevents her from speaking. They fight Lorelei and her men, but Lorelei enchants Ward and they commandeer the bus. Lorelei tells May that Ward loves someone else. Lady Sif confronts Lorelei while May fights Ward and fixes the collar to her neck, undoing her enchantment. Lady Sif returns Lorelei to Asgard, and May ends her relationship with Ward. Coulson tells S.h.i.e.L.D. the origin of the drug used to revive them, and despite how disturbed Coulson is by this fact, S.h.i.e.L.D. remains optimistic. He orders S.h.i.e.L.D. to keep the origin of the drug a secret until Fury gives them the truth. Unknown to them, May is monitoring their conversation and reporting it back to somebody. So as you guys can see, quite a bit actually happened in this episode, considering it was kind of a one-off with the Asgardians. I really like this episode for the fact that it ties into the Thor movies, into the MCU movies in general, with Lady Sif coming in and making an appearance, tying into Asgard and the different things of that. I really enjoy that we get a little bit more, that they keep bringing up May and Ward's relationship in this episode. I find that really kind of funny because May just keeps being like, guys, it's not bothering me. And everyone's like, we get it, it's bothering you. And she's like, it's not bothering me. It's bothering me that you guys keep bothering me about it and think that it bothers me. And I connect with that, May. I understand being bothered by people thinking that you're bothered by something that you're not bothered by. I get it. I connect with me on that level. But I thought that was just a really fun thing. I like that we kind of discover that in this episode, Ward does also has some feelings for somebody else on the team, and it's like, well, I think we know in hindsight, for those of us who've seen the series already before, that it's S.h.i.e.L.D. that he has those feelings for. But at this point during the show, it's kind of interesting. You have to kind of you kind of figure it is S.h.i.e.L.D. considering the only other one on the team is Simmons and Ward don't really spend any time together. But anyways, this episode overall I thought was pretty good. I really like it. Some of the notes I have written down, like besides the things I already mentioned and the things I've mentioned during the plot summary, are what do we see? We see S.h.i.e.L.D. talks about needing to be able to protect herself. So after getting shot, she's talking to Ward about how she feels the need to be able to protect herself now after this. And I think that's a really cool line that it helps kind of show why she becomes such a badass. Well, not just why, but like shows a little bit more of the growth of her character and why she takes it even a little bit more seriously about her training and becoming even more badass agent, being able to handle herself even more so she doesn't get shot again. So I thought that was a really cool little line. I like that Fitz, Simmons more so, is still looking into the drug at the beginning of this episode. She's still trying to figure it out, and Coulson hasn't told her where it comes from yet, so that's an interesting little friction there. I can't remember when exactly he ends up telling her. I'm not really sure. I can't remember. If you guys remember, let me know in the comments below. What else do I have? We see that Coulson talks to Sitwell, so that's another connection to the MCU and some other S.h.i.E.L.D. episodes. He talks to Sitwell about trying to find Fury, which is obviously another connection, which I really like that aspect of this, that Coulson search around for Fury himself, and he's trying to find these answers still, and it's just, they're not making it easy. It's not as easy as him just picking up a phone and Fury showing up again to give him the answers like we have had once or twice in the season, a little bit. Or was it just once in the season? No, I'm forgetting. I do these things and I can't remember. Anyways, what else do I have written down? I like that Lady Sif shows up. I already mentioned that. Coulson asks, oh, I like that Coulson asks Lady Sif about different blue alien races, and she just rattles off a bunch of different ones. I recognize maybe one or two, but obviously the one that sticks out is the Kree, which I think someone told me last week that is the alien species that the drug had come from, or I don't know, is it really technically a drug? It looked like it was just that guy's bone marrow or something, but the H something whatever, I forgot to write that one down. But what else do I have written down? Oh, I like that this is where we finally transition from the night guns being called icers. I thought they were icers in this thing. So this is the episode where they transition over. I enjoyed that. I like the little nod of that they bring back, Ward being like, oh, you took off the ounce as that joke from, I believe, the first or second episode of the series. But yeah, so that was cool that we finally get to that. What else have I written down? Mace says a line about when people are controlled, they're hard to reason with, and I like that line because it's a little bit of foreshadowing to her backstory about the cavalry, and that we keep getting these little hints as to what happened. In hindsight, like obviously I know a little bit more in hindsight that relates in more, but I really like that line because I think it's really interesting, like to think about the fact that if I hadn't seen, if I haven't seen the seasons that follow, then I wouldn't know exactly what she meant by that, and I would have picked up on it. So the fact that I'm rewatching and I know I picked up on that, which I just really like. I like those little things. What else do I have written? Oh, what does it say? Sorry guys, man, I can't. Oh. So Lady Sif and Lorelai, we learn a little bit that they have a past a little bit, but that only involves in this episode. So I don't know why I wrote that down as a note. It doesn't really have anything to do with anything. The last little bit of notes I have written down is just really about the Ward and May stuff. I really thought that was a fun little thing they did with this episode, and they finally ended off with May being like, I think you were more honest with Lorelai than you are with yourself, implying that Ward isn't completely honest with himself about his feelings for S.H.i.E.L.D. and the different things like that. And I think it also is kind of funny insight that it's kind of also kind of applies to the fact that he's really is lying to everybody. So it's I thought that was a really cool, fun line. And then the last thing I have written down, guys, is just about the last thing I mentioned during this summary, which is Coulson telling S.H.i.E.L.D. about the origin of the drug being alien. I think they kind of did this little weird, because to me I'm like, does she know that he means it's straight from an alien, not that it's just alien like medicine, that it's like it got pumped out of a blue dude? Like, I feel like those are the words he should have said, that it get pumped out of a blue dude, because that's what happened. So I feel like they kind of dance around that, and I can't remember if that comes up again, if like S.H.i.E.L.D. ends up learning that it was straight from an alien that she got this thing, or not, that if they kind of leave it ambiguous. I can't remember that. Let me know, guys, if you know in the comments below about that. But I like that this is finally where Coulson's kind of like, I'm done with all the policies. I'm done with following the S.h.i.e.L.D. protocol. I want some answers. We're going to go find fear. We're going to get our answers to all our questions. And I really like that. And then we see a little flash that May had been listening in, ends up reporting back and gives an update, a certain numbered update, which means she's been doing this for a while. She says Coulson knows, implying that she's telling somebody that Coulson knows about this, meaning she's been kind of watching over Coulson, which I think really relates back to that first episode when we see like her, I think it was her and Agent, what's her name? Agent, How I Met Your Mother. You guys know what I'm talking about. I believe something along that connection, I'm pretty sure kind of comes up again, that I'm pretty sure we've seen in this series before, that there was a hint to maybe being like having a second agenda to joining, but this kind of confirms it. And I cannot remember at all who she's talking. I can't remember if it ends up being Fury or if it's Agent Hand. I can't remember exactly. Don't let me know this one in the comments below, guys. I want this one to be another one of those mysteries that I discover while I watch the shows. But that's all I have for my notes today, guys. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything I missed that you liked about this episode, or if there's anything you didn't particularly like about this episode. Definitely let me know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. And thanks again for joining me, guys, as always, and have a good one.